This will be my audience response feedback. We have Tom, Elliot and Mason. So after watching the film, I have a series of questions lined up for my viewers. Tom, what would you walk away with after watching that film?
I think I'd walk away quite emotional, given the fact that Elijah has to deal with this addiction that is causing some pain and suffering to those around him. So yeah, it's quite gives a very provocative emotional response.
What about you, Elliot?
I would walk away with a new sense of what drugs are like. It really opened my eyes on how drugs can affect people's lives and their social life and their life around the house. And like Tom said, I felt very emotional for Elijah.
Right, and how about you, Mason?
I'll probably take away from it that it seemed like it wasn't his fault, if you know what I mean. He seemed like he didn't have a choice, when we know he did, but he didn't feel like he did when he was talking to Levi.
Oh, right, okay. So did you feel any sympathy towards Elijah throughout the film? If not, how did you feel towards him? Tom?
I'm a bit split, to be honest, because people fall into addiction on their own accord, so there's a lack of sympathy there. However, once people are fall into addiction, it's like you're trapped in a hole and you can't get out of it. So there's a sense of isolation. So yeah, I think I did feel quite sympathetic towards Elijah.
And what about you, Elliot?
Yeah, I felt quite a bit of sympathy towards Elijah throughout the film. I felt like he was trapped in the addiction and there was nothing that I could do to help him, and it made me feel sad for Elijah.
Right, and what about you, Mason?
It did make me feel a bit of sympathy because it made you kind of put yourself into their shoes a little bit, and it made you worry about what you do in that situation.
And did you feel engaged with the narrative throughout the film?
Yeah, I did feel engaged with the narrative because the film caused you to sympathise and to certainly empathise with Elijah. So you do get caught into the narrative. So yeah.
What about you, Elliot?
Yes, I did feel engaged to the narrative. We were following along Elijah throughout his life, and like I said, I did feel a lot of sympathy for him, and I wanted him to get better, and I wanted to see how he ended out.
And Mason?
I think I'm the same. I just really wanted to find out how the whole story generally ended, and finding out that he killed himself was a bit saddening, but yeah, it definitely kept me engaged.
Right, and what did you think of the effects throughout the film? Tom?
Yeah, I liked the fading effect at the start of the film, and then at the end of the film with the sound effects, it gave the impression of what he'd done quite well. So yeah, that was good.
What about you, Elliot?
Yeah, I like the transitions of when Elijah done the cocaine and he fell asleep and then it faded on to the next day. I thought that was very effective.
Right, and Mason?
I definitely appreciate the sound effects, to be honest. I like the sound of the smashing glass and the sound of the falling. It's quite good.
Okay, and what did you think of the camera work?
Yeah, I thought the camera work was quite cool. It was quite well structured throughout. I did like the use of POV shots as well. I think that really helped you to empathise with the character of Elijah. So yeah.
Elliot?
Yeah, I thought the camera work was very well. It took me through Elijah's life very well. And like Tom said, the point of view shots was very effective as well.
And Mason?
I really liked the tracking. I liked the way that you used tracking in a lot of the different shots, and it made it feel like we were seeing it through someone else's eyes.
And were there any camera shots or camera angles that stood out to you?
Yeah, again, the POV shots, I think they really stood out as a good point for you to really put yourself in the shoes of Elijah. Yeah.
Yep.
I really like the shot when Elijah and the other geezer, can't remember his name, are talking on the table, and then you've got the camera on both of them.
Yeah, and Mason?
I liked the shot where he was sitting on the sofa in the main room, because it was shot in the same way every time, which made it seem like he was getting himself into the same situation over and over.
Right, and were there any areas that you thought could be improved upon? If so, what?
I feel like the only thing that could be improved upon probably would be Just some of the tracking shots were a bit jumpy, so they didn't seem as smooth as some of the other ones. So there's a little bit of inconsistency, but apart from that, it was all pretty good. Yeah.
Elliot?
I was going to talk about the tracking shots as well, how it sort of jolted every now and then. Yeah.
Yeah. Mason?
I'd say the tracking shots as well, but I would also say the zoom sometimes was a bit jumpy and a bit too fast sometimes.
Right, okay. Well, thank you.